This is going to be the biggest project that I've done since I came to M. Davis, certainly as a project coordinator, both in dollar value and our reputation. We've put a lot on the line to reach a deadline that's really very difficult to reach. We have to have this cooling tower back up and running when the cooling season starts, which basically takes a year-long job and squeezes it into 6 months. At the onset of the project, there were certain goals set out by DuPont to replace their aging cooling tower. It had been there since the 50s, and so it was not the cutting edge of technology. It wasn't all that efficient, and it was rather loud. So this new cooling tower assembly should provide them greater efficiency, less noise, and be far more reliable for many years. Jobs like this are really enjoyable for me. I enjoy a puzzle, and that's all it is. It's a really big puzzle. You sit down and you figure out what you have to do to reach your goal. It's difficult, but at the end you have a real sense of accomplishment when it all comes together.
Today we'll look the model over. We just want to make sure that everything...
During the design phase, we were helping with drafting, and we really had a chance to have some input with the design team on means and methods and how we were going to do this project. It not only helped us to know the project inside and out, it reduced how many questions we had to ask, and it allowed us to have input on the front end to offer solutions to problems before they even developed. Making this happen with traditional means would have never been possible. The window we had is just too small. That made it a perfect fit for the modular method, but in doing so, it adds a whole nother dimension of criticality to coordination and timing. You have to have everything show up at exactly the right time in exactly the right order. It just doesn't fit together right.
Yeah, it's important that we make sure that they include these flanges on this spool, because this spool is shipping separately.
During the fabrication phase, our electrical shop is making panels, our steel shop is cranking out steel, and our pipe shop is fabricating pipe as fast as they can. The technology that we've put in place in those shops really helps us to get an edge in that we can get more done in the same amount of time, to make things less prone to error and happen faster. Their dedication to quality and their efforts are steadily getting work done for our customers. During the assembly phase, we bring everything that we've worked on so far to a large shop and assemble it into one unit. We bring our electrical, our piping, and our steel work all together as one big piece, and it allows us to find any last-minute problems and review them with our customer and find a solution, and it allows us to make our last connections to the equipment in the safety and comfort of a shop instead of out in the elements where everything gets harder. The last phase of the project is shipping, assembly, and connections, and it's all happening at the same time. This is the phase that you really look forward to in a project. It's when you get excited to see your final product coming together. It is also the phase where we're allowed to be most creative. We were given a very tight footprint to do this work in, and we used some real out-of-the-box methods to make it happen. We were able to ship these large pieces and set them in places where you might not think is possible when you're looking at it for the first time.
We went through this whole project without incident or injury, which is the most important part. We did make it on time. We are still within our budget, and it's proven out to be a very well executed project.
Here we are in the early spring. The tower is basically completed. We are just doing the final checkouts, and before the hot weather comes in, I have a tower that's fully functional. More importantly, when you look back on this, we had no safety incidents at all with this. There was no miscommunication. There was no cutting into charged lines. All of our lockouts were secured. It was an overall good project.
The whole thing came together, every phase, and it really paid off. It really made you feel good to see the whole thing complete and successful with a happy customer. So many people came together to make this happen, and so many people brought their expertise to bear to make this a success. It was really a team effort, and it really made me see how a project is supposed to go from start to finish.